Okay, we got to talk about how we can use fruit to burn fat. I feel like somewhere along the keto journey, the low carb journey, we became obsessed with avoiding fruit. And I want to bring fruit back into the conversation because there are some incredible fruits, and I'm going to show you which ones. I'm going to show you why they're so good. And I'm going to quote the research and why they can really help be a pivotal part of your fasting lifestyle and help you burn fat. So let's dive into the science. Let me explain the why, because remember, when you understand the why, it really helps you make smart decisions for you. So let's dive into that. So here's what I just want, big picture again. We're back at I'm teaching you a fasting lifestyle. So in Fast Like a Girl, I talked about how we have a time when we don't eat. We call that the fat burning system or the fasting window. And there's a time when we do eat, and we call that the eating window or the sugar burner system. And if we want to lose weight, if we want to stay metabolically healthy, the name of the game is to learn how to switch in and out of these two states. Now, what's interesting about the fasting window is that so many of you, and you can put it in the comments if you've lost weight by just tacking on a fasting window to the foods you were already eating. And so many people, once they've figured out, oh, wow, if I just compress my food into one eating window and leave a longer period for fasting, I actually can lose weight more effortlessly. And put in the comments if that's you. But the part of the fasting conversation that I'm really trying to bring to you all now is this eating window, because it's just as important as the fasting window for your metabolic health. So we want to make sure that we master both of these windows, both of these metabolisms, so that you can burn fat effortlessly, stay metabolically healthy. But remember, when you're metabolically healthy, your hormones are healthy too. That goes for both men and women. So those two systems are interchanged. They really connect. Metabolic health goes off, hormonal health will go off. Hormonal health goes off, metabolic system will go off. So we have to have a conversation about regulating both of these systems to bring you optimal health. Okay, with that, let's dive into the 4 fruits. Now, the first one, and this one is the one that we keep hearing over and over again. I did a really interesting Resetter podcast interview with Jim Quick on this and the power of this food on our brain. And it really is the blueberry. And the interesting thing about blueberry is why it's so good for burning fat is it really is one of those fruits that keeps your blood sugar stable. And it does this 2 ways. One, it's all berries. It's not just the blueberry, but the blueberry is like the hero berry. All berries are high in antioxidants. They're low in glucose, so they're not going to spike your glucose as high as some of the other fruits that we'll talk about. And they're high in fiber. So whenever we add fiber into the picture, we really create a system that doesn't allow for a really big blood sugar spike. So we want to be able to, the more fiber we bring in these fruits that have a little glycemic response, the less you're going to see your glucose go up and the easier you're going to be able to metabolic switch over into the fat burning system. So I love it because of this fiber sugar ratio. But beyond that, and this was an interesting study, and this is for my men. So hopefully I haven't lost it. Put in the comments if you're a man and you listen to my channel here. I'm trying to bring hormonal health for both men and women into all of my conversations. So here you go. Here's one for the men. And it was a 2018 study that found overweight men who ate blackberries, also another fiber-filled low glycemic berry, that they showed greater fat oxidation. That means they were able to break down fat easier, and they showed increased insulin sensitivity. So, and this was really interesting because blackberries, put in the comments, how many of us eat blackberries every day? But it was specifically done on blackberries. And the study went on to say that other berries can be good as well. Strawberries, blackberries, blueberries, raspberries, cranberries. as always, we always want to make sure that those are organic, especially with strawberries. Those are heavily sprayed fruits. But berries, when you see a berry, I want you to think, ooh, that has a great glucose or sugar ratio to fiber. It's not going to elevate my blood sugar in a really high way. That's the benefit of berries. And blueberries specifically are great. The antioxidant profile are great for the brain. And you can go listen to the whole thing I did on blueberries and superfoods with Jim Quick. It was on the Resetter podcast. My team will probably put a link in there. Okay, second one. This is one of my favorite, and we don't think of it as a fruit, but it has a seed, and that is the avocado. There is no doubt if you put avocado with every single meal, it is high in fiber, it has great fat profile, and it will stabilize your blood sugar. And I'll tell you one thing that I love about it is it comes in a little bowl. It's got its own little bowl here. So you can put something inside that to make a really fun meal that you eat from. And it comes with its own little skin. So, grab one and take it on the go. And it's got a protective outer skin. It's almost like nature knew what the modern world was going to be like and decided to provide us a little extra fruit that we could take on the go and we could use as plateware. So there you go. But what's interesting that I love, beyond the fat content of an avocado is that it also has a huge anti-inflammatory effect. So I have an avocado every single day, just using it to bring down the inflammation that can occur from the modern world or overuse. And then I like the fat because it stabilizes my blood sugar. Personally, for me, and I've brought this to you all many times, is it's one of my go-to foods for breaking a fast because you come in with this powerful nutrient, you stabilize blood sugar, and so therefore you don't end up boomeranging back into food. So, okay, number 3, and this one's going to surprise you, and we got to talk about some nuance here, and that is the orange. Okay, I am not saying orange juice. You can go look at some videos I've done on orange juice. I have a pet peeve with orange juice, especially in the morning. I couldn't think of anything worse for our metabolic system than orange juice in the morning. But the orange by itself actually has some interesting properties. Now, the first is it also is fiber filled. And they did a measurement. I thought this was really interesting. They did a measurement where they call it a satiety score, where they look to see what foods give us the most satisfaction of feeling full. So satiety is just a fancy word for, yeah, that filled me up. I don't feel like eating anything else. And the orange scored what they gave it a rank, and it scored a 202 as one of the most filling fruits that were tested. And so when we look at the orange from a metabolic fat burning standpoint, is because it kicks that satiety in and it kills that hunger, it can be a beautiful addition to maybe a salad. I've done this before, even with like grapefruit too, where I'll cut it up and I'll put little segments in my salad. You can put it with avocado. They go really well together, and put with some greens. I talked a lot about how greens support the strobolome that breaks down estrogen. Greens are great for, especially bitter greens, are great for supporting liver health. So you can take a bunch of dandelion greens and spring mix and radicchio and fennel, chop them all up into a salad, and then cut some oranges and some avocados in. And my God, now you've got like an incredible meal for breaking down hormones, and you've got an incredible meal for stabilizing blood sugar and helping you burn more fat because you can get over into that fat burning fasting window much quicker. So orange is good because you feel full afterwards. Okay, check this out. I have a free fasting guide for you all. It's free. And it's going to teach you all the basics of fasting. It's going to teach you how to kill hunger when you fast, which is really cool. And it's going to show you how to break your fast, among many other things. All you got to do is click on this link right here and enjoy. The last one that I want to talk about is the apple. And this is interesting. So the apple was the second most filling fruit on the satiety index. So oranges were first. Apples were second, just so you know. Like if you are in a pinch, let's think about how we use this satiety index for our benefit. You're in a pinch. You're like walking out the door. You're like, oh, I'm hungry. What do I need? Well, guess what? If you're going to grab some fruit, these two are going to be the best for filling you up and making it so that you don't want to keep eating, which also is a beautiful way to burn fat. But this was interesting. So a 2009 study showed that people who ate an apple before a meal spontaneously consumed less food during that meal, and it ended up in a fat burning state. So we're back at the fiber game. So when we've got fiber-filled fruits like this, what we don't get is as big of a glucose spike. We kill the hunger hormone. We have a longer satisfaction with like these foods that we eat, so we don't want to keep eating. And it allows us to keep blood sugar down so we can get over into that fat burning place a lot better. So, and I'll tell you a big snack that I do all the time is I take apples. My personal favorite, I didn't have one here. My personal favorite are pippins, the green, juicy, like pippin apples. I have a local farmer that brings them at only one time a year, and I love them. She also has a hybrid one called a mutsu. That's incredible. It's a cross between a pippin and a golden delicious. I'm a huge apple fan. And I cut them, and I will often either put raw cheese on if you do dairy, or I'll put some cashew butter or almond butter. And literally some days when I'm working a lot in the morning, I'll go into my kitchen, I'll cut open an apple, slap some nut butter on there, and that will be enough. One full apple cut into pieces with nut butter is enough for me to break my fast and keep going throughout the day, and I don't have to sit down and eat a full meal. So I like it as a real convenient break fast meal to curb the hunger, but also to bring in some of the fiber and nutrients that are needed so that I don't just keep eating for the next several hours during my eating window. So let me know if that helps. But the point of this video is to help you navigate fruit. I want to bring fruit back into the equation. In Fast Like a Girl, I talked about how my version of keto is ketobiotic. The way I phrase that is ketobiotic because I want us to remember that we don't ever want to go so low carb that we leave things like fruit out of the equation. Nature provided us some incredible resources for balancing hormones and burning fat. And when we don't have a diet rich in fruit, we're missing key antioxidants, we're missing key nutrients that keeps us functioning at our best. So there you go. If you and I were standing in line at the grocery store and you were like, hey, what's your favorite four fruits for burning fat? These would be it. And now you have the science and the knowledge to back it. So again, put in the comments which one's your favorite, which one you like to use. Great for breaking your fast. I really, really love these for a break fast meal. As always, I hope that helps. If you love this video, I did a great video called Should You Eat Eggs Every Day for Breakfast? So you need them to make things like serotonin and dopamine, the neurotransmitters that give us a good mood balance, make us happy, make us calm, give us joy and satisfaction. The precursors for those neurotransmitters are all inside this little egg.